Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Shelbyville Now Sports Live. I've got with me Mr. Bill Anderson and Mr. Kenny Parker, and we got a special guest now. Mr. Aaron Parker is with us today from Green Bay, and it looks like you have dressed your dad up a little bit today for the occasion.
Yeah, I have to dress him up every week. I send him stuff back every week, so he'll have something.
So
Something else.
He is the Kenny Claus.
He is Kenny Claus this morning, as Bill refers to him. So you decked out. You're looking good. You brought us some stuff there. What you got?
Got some. It's Christmas time.
Yeah.
So got a little snowman here,
And he's got a Green Bay hat on.
and he's got a Green Bay hat on, but he may melt around here.
Yeah.
I know the call.
And what's all those other things there? There are ornaments.
Yeah, they're Green Bay Packer ornaments from the frozen tundra.
All right. And of course, we've got our Duke Cannon.
Duke Cannon. Aaron's got a little story about Duke Cannon.
Oh.
You know, I like my soap. Now I'm just gonna tell you, I told y'all last week. So Aaron, you won't tell it, you want me to tell it. You go ahead and tell
I'll
it.
tell it. So I obviously been in Green Bay for the past 5 months or so working. Hadn't really got to see the family, the friends a whole lot. So finally during the bye week, I get a couple of days to get to come home and see the family, and we're all excited. So I leave Wednesday morning around 5 a.m., drive 11 hours, get home around 4 p.m., 4:30. I'm tired. I got my duffel bag, but I'm excited to see the family. I walk into the house, and Dad's sitting in his recliner, leaned back on his phone playing solitaire like he always is. And he goes, "Oh, hey, Aaron, go in my shower and check out that soap that I've been talking about every week."
That's your first word.
That's his first thing.
Oh,
I haven't
my
seen him in 2 months or so, and he said, "Hey, why don't you go check out that soap?"
I know he's a different person
Hey,
since
you know-
he started.
And you
using
know
it.
what
It
happened?
really is.
When Aaron went in and checked it out, he came back and his guns were
Well,
blazing.
yeah.
And
All
that's,
right. We're gonna take a break and we're gonna jump in head first. But that's got to be the best story I've heard in a long time. Our sponsor is Duke Cannon Products, available at the Winter Circle in Shelbyville. And we're going to stop right now and just take a break and hear a word from them. We'll be right back. And
Legend tells us of a place somewhere far away, where outlet malls and vegan juice bars cease to exist. There is no Wi-Fi out here, and no one binge watches vampire dramas all day. Out here is a place where stories are told without emojis, and memories are made without selfies. We're talking about the great outdoors. Introducing the Great American Frontier line from Duke Cannon Supply Company. Pine, Campfire, and Leaf and Leather. 3 big-ass soaps with unique masculine scents, inspired by the best nature has to offer. Out here, our soap will just make you smell like out here.
Duke Cannon products are available at the Winter Circle at 603 Evans Street here in Shelbyville.
okay, guys, we're back in here to talk about some high school sports. Right now, we've got high school basketball cranked up into full gear, and we had county teams in action this week. And right now, it looks like our Cascade boys are going to be the team to watch all year. Still undefeated.
They're pretty talented. If
Yeah.
you get an opportunity, I'm not. They play a good.
Played Fayetteville
Brand of
last
ball.
night. And Fayetteville's got some athletes, and they won the game 61-29. It wasn't even close
Wow.
last night.
That's
wow.
They're doing that to a lot of teams. It looks like if they're on, they're going to take. They're going to
8-0.
go away with it.
Something to be said for 8-0.
Cascade girls, of course, are struggling. They're rebuilding. Got a lot of young players. They've got a lot of young players that are going to be good. And it's just about like the football we were talking about earlier this year. You know, you got young players that are going to make mistakes, but they got to learn, and they're around for a while. So,
They lost almost the identical score. It was 61-33 to the Fayetteville girls last night.
okay. So you got some scores. What else we got there?
Community, Coach Davis, who's got a junior program day. He's not going to be able to make it. I hope to get him on next week. He lost to Huntland 78-68, but the community girls beat Huntland 56-42.
I went down to community last night to watch those, to watch them. Try to get out to see all the high school teams, and Tell you what, Huntland boys impressed me. They're very athletic,
Mhm.
but community played them tough. I mean, at one point they're within 6, 8 points, and Huntland would pull away from them, and then they'd catch back up. And Huntland boys impressed me. And community girls, they played well last night. They looked pretty good.
All right, so it looks like our two teams that we're going to watch this year that could have a chance to go into the tournaments deep is going to be the community girls and the Cascade boys.
Community girls look to be young.
Yeah.
They don't have the size that they used to have. They moved the ball around and shot it pretty good last night.
All right, so that's good. It looks like what about Webb? We hadn't heard much from Webb. We know they got a pretty good girls team, boys team, going to be normal.
Mm-hmm.
So get out and support your county's teams, and during the holidays, some of them are going to be playing in tournaments.
Shelbyville plays today, 12
Yeah,
o'clock
12
at
o'clock.
Riverdale.
Yeah.
They didn't play last
I
night.
wonder why they're playing at 12 o'clock. Do you have any idea?
I mean, it may have been one of those where Shelbyville didn't have a game scheduled last night. Riverdale may have played somebody, and both of them want to get another game in.
Oh, and you did it
So-
tonight.
Well, it could be because of officiating schedules too.
Yeah.
They got a
Could
shortage
be.
in officiating.
Could
You
be.
know, you got officials that are strung out doing junior high
Mm-hmm.
and high school. Some of them are refereeing 4 or 5 games a week.
Mm-hmm.
That puts the pressure on. So why don't you do that, Bill?
I used to do some refereeing. I hadn't done it in a long time.
Did you hear the word? The
Used.
one used to.
I used to.
All right, the big thing that's happened in high school sports this week is the TSSAA voted 12-0. Their board voted to allow NIL in the state of Tennessee. And I was looking at the wording. It sounds like it's basically about like what college sports has got. Kenny, being a high school coach, give us your opinion first.
I just don't. I see it as the rich getting richer.
Yeah.
You know, your small schools around here, and I'm just going to tell you, Shelbyville's a small school
Sure.
when it comes into this category of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Shelbyville's it's a way of drawing. You can't use the word recruiting, but it's going to be. It very well could be a way of drawing some kids away from a program.
I like your favorite.
Man,
The private
I
schools
was
way
gonna
over
say,
the public schools.
the
It's private
private-
schools are a tremendous
Well,
advantage.
the private schools that are scholarship funded, that the true ones that play in the Division II, not the there's
Right.
private schools that play in Division I, which aren't able to offer, but the ones that play in Division II, hey, their hands are free. They can do whatever, and I think you very well could see football, basketball, baseball, golf, all sports. We don't hit on the smaller sports like soccer and tennis and golf and those. If you look at the state championships, go back the last 10 or 12 years, when you look at the tennis, the soccer, the golf, they're all won by private schools, and I think that
And to
will.
go back to something David said off air, the kids need to be kids.
I agree.
Yeah.
And this right here is making
It throws them into a professional
mindset.
Yeah.
You're not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
And you're
Well,
doing away with the whole.
You know, I don't think the kids are going to be the ones that's doing that.
Oh no.
It's going to be the parent of the kid.
Right.
But the
Look,
kids are the pawns.
They are the pawn. They're going to be, a 16, 17-year-old student that's not going to be able to make those decisions. The parents are going to be the ones that
Right.
make those decisions. And, the kids, like you said, are going to be a pawn. They're going to be used because this is what the world's getting into.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
the greed.
money.
It's
It
the
is.
greed.
Yep.
Aaron, what do you think about it?
I was thinking more of on the student aspect to where that just sort of throws something else on top of what they already have to worry about.
Right.
They're worried about classes, keeping good grades. They're worried about getting into good schools. They're worried about their clubs, all the stuff they do outside of the school, their church groups, their sports. And now they're going to have to worry about, oh, well, this person may be getting these NIL deals. I'm behind. How do I get these just so I can get myself have a better resume for college and
Yeah.
all that stuff. It really adds more pressure that really I feel like shouldn't really be needed.
It puts pressure on the kids.
Where kids should be worried about, yes, they need to be worried about school, but having fun with it, having fun with their sport, having fun just hanging out with their friends, being young while they can,
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah,
they're worried about stuff that they're going to have their whole life to worry about, making money and all that stuff. But
they're going to be worried about grown-up stuff.
Exactly.
What about if they do get a deal? Mom and dad set up a deal with a company, and maybe they're not playing good in their sport or whatever. Pressure starts to build. Oh, I've got that deal. I better perform, or I'm not going to get it next time.
And where does the team aspect go for trying to win and be a team player to I'm a me player?
Yeah.
And where does the deal go where I'm playing football, basketball, baseball, soccer? Am I just going to, because of my NIL, am I just going to be able to be at this sport? I can't do that one.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if my grades don't, if I get, I just.
All of that.
I think it's.
Well, is winning important, or is it more important for me to hit that extra 3-pointer or score that extra touchdown?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there was an option at the end of the game, the clock running, and I'm running into the end zone, I've got an NIL deal, and I take a knee, we win the ball game. If I score, the other team gets the ball, I'm going to take it in the end zone.
Here's my thing with this, Bill. The majority of your NIL deal things coming on, I'm just going to use football, are your skilled athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your skilled athletes. Those big old hogs that are down there in the trenches, nobody knows anything about them. Well, what's going to happen when Joe back here behind me's got this NIL deal? Oh, we're going to see how good he is. We're going to run it up the middle and let him pop him right there.
Well, that puts the kids
there's
against one another.
There's the chemistry that we talked about throughout the year.
I don't
in the
have to
locker
ask
room.
you how you feel about this. You've already voiced it. I assume you're against all
Absolutely.
this mess. Well, I would say this. I'll call them out. TDLSAA botched this one.
They dropped the ball.
They
on
botched
this
it.
big
There
time.
wasn't one person on that board that voted no.
And
I was gonna say, like you
how
said,
can
for
you
it to be
say
12-0.
12-0?
Not one person.
Not
was.
one
I don't
person.
see how you're looking in the best interest of kids.
That's it. And
You're
that's
looking in
what
the
their
best
job
interest of
is.
some money.
They set rules up to protect kids and have a safe sport and regulate it for the kids.
Man,
But it ain't no more when
It's
this
just-
happens.
it's falling in here. I'm worried about our country.
Yeah.
I do too.
And it's now I'm worried about our country.
Our priorities have gone down the tubes. All right,
Absolutely.
let's shift now to college football.
Please.
Yeah, let's get off
Hey, we
this.
got a game today.
Yeah, Army Navy.
Army Navy, 2
I'll
o'clock.
tell you right now, I would love to be able to see that
Just
game
one time,
in
wouldn't you?
person.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
And it's always I would love to see. I watched the ceremonies. There's guys that march into that and are standing on the field for hours while everybody. This is just and then here's the big thing. We just talked about this NIL stuff. There's going to be seniors that's going to play their last game today with their team, and this time next week they defending our country somewhere.
Yeah. We had a Shelbyville kid playing in a Army Navy game for 4 years, about 3 years ago.
Mhm.
OJ Davis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He went to the Navy. He played. I got to see him play on TV. He was a hybrid receiver, tight end. But just like you said, he's committed now for 5 years after this. Remember David Robinson when he played for the Naval Academy? He went and served 5 years, then came back and played professional basketball. There's something different about these kids.
Tell you,
Oh yeah.
you got to have respect for it.
Yeah.
You got to
Absolutely.
watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, and to watch how hard those guys play, and
Isn't it a little odd though? Navy's 4-7, Army's 5-6, and Navy's favored by 2.5 points. I thought that was kind of strange. But the over/under on this game is about as low as it gets, 32.5.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a running game.
It'll
There's
be a
not going to be a lot
quick
of scoring
game.
in this.
Yeah.
It'll be a very
This will be a Kenny Claus game.
Kenny
Yeah,
Claus.
there
All right,
you
Kenny,
go.
tell us who's going to win this one.
I haven't kept up with either one of them. I will say whoever's got the prettier helmet, because I'll tell you what, they deck their helmets
They do.
out.
Doesn't I think Army has a uniform where they're honoring like the tank battalions where
Yeah.
and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it looks just like a all sort of like sand, like desert type
desert.
uniform.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks awesome.
I
Well, I gotta
I
pick
know a
them.
couple-
I ain't gonna go against Tank. I'll
Yeah.
take
A
them.
couple of years ago, Navy had helmets that were different ships,
I think they were
Yeah.
all hand painted.
and
Yeah.
they were all
Mhm.
hand
Yeah.
painted and had a variation of all their different. They had aircraft carriers, they had bombers.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
I think they did it based on position group. Like the O lineman and D lineman had the big aircraft carriers,
Yeah.
and like the receivers had like the fighter jets.
Yeah, that's all right. That's
And
pretty
I
cool.
promise you, right before kickoff, it'll be the neatest flyover you ever saw.
I
They bring
guarantee
out
you.
some neat airplanes and helicopters that fly over before this one at 2
Well,
o'clock.
I'm gonna take Army in this one. Who you gonna take, Bill?
I'm gonna take Navy.
Navy. All right. Gotta pick somebody.
Come
Yeah,
on.
I'm going Army because I'm like to go by foot.
There you go. All right.
I'm gonna split. I'm gonna go with Navy just because my great grandfather was in the Navy.
All right. This
Mine
is for
was
nothing
too.
but bragging
For your
rights.
grandfather.
My grandfather.
2 Armies and 2 Navies.
Two
It's gonna be
Armies
a
and
battle.
two Navies.
All right. We got bowl games starting up. We've got one on the 16th. We've got, I don't know what it's called, man. They're different every year. There's a different sponsor. The sponsorships, basically, you knew the name of we were talking about it. Who is this first? It
Bowl
is,
game. It's Bahamas Bowl.
is it the Bahamas Bowl? The 16th is
You
Duluth. I don't know what this bowl is here. Some kind of commercial going on, but this is the Duluth. All right, we got the Homelanders Bahamas Bowl, Miami of Ohio versus UAB, and the Duluth Trading Cure Bowl, UTSA versus Troy. That's on the
The
16th.
Bahamas Bowl, that's where MTSU's played several times.
Right. I was
Aaron's
there my
been there a
freshman year.
couple of them.
Yeah.
My first year.
All right, so I'm gonna take UAB in the Bahamas
UAB's
Bowl.
got a good football team.
Yeah.
Well, they're about to have a new coach.
Yep.
And who'd you say they were playing?
Miami of Ohio.
I'm gonna go with UAB.
Yeah.
UAB.
Trent Dilfer's the new coach there.
He is.
Yeah, he
Good for
is.
him. Good for him.
All right, and then the Duluth Trading, Duluth Trading, one of my favorite products.
Right?
That Duke Cannon?
No, Duke Cannon, they're
you
related.
talking about-
They're related.
Yeah.
They're out in Duluth, Minnesota.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I wear a lot of Duke trading.
yeah. Me and you Duluth Trading.
Duluth
Yes,
trading,
the
whatever.
buck naked underwear.
Buck naked
All right, this has
underwear.
got to be a great bowl game. All right,
I'll tell you.
Troy versus UTSA. I'm taking Troy. I like
I
Troy.
want to take Troy, but UTSA is pretty tough and they can score. I'm gonna go UTSA.
Yeah, UTSA. They're the Road Runners.
They can
Yeah.
score and move the
They,
football.
All right.
They've been pretty good the past couple of
You
years.
go. It's
I'm
3
going
against 1.
UTSA.
All right, Troy.
But Troy-
Come
I'm
on,
gonna tell you
Troy.
right Troy's got a good ball team.
They
Yes,
do.
They always have a good
They
kicker.
always do.
Always have a good kicker. They always have good special teams, and they'll run the ball.
And they're in a really
So-
neat spot where they're at in southern Alabama, where they're able to get into the tip part of Florida right there, and they go and
They take
always done a
away
good
from
job.
that cow school down there. They take away a lot from them.
well, they've always done a really good job before even the portal of transfers. Even way before then, if you looked at Troy, they would only recruit 10. Western Kentucky's done this as well. You look at recruiting, they recruit 10 or 12 players. But what they would do is go get the guy at Tennessee that left Vanderbilt or Kentucky.
Yep.
And that's where they would make their
Yeah.
lineup. And that's what Western's done. And that's what Troy's done it for years.
And Troy's picking up people. And then, well, all these little schools like there's some people.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
picking up people out of that.
Troy,
program,
if you
so.
think about it, what was the big defensive end for the Cowboys a few years ago?
DeMarcus
DeMarcus Ware. He
Yep.
was a Troy guy.
Yeah,
So always
well.
put some people in the pros, too.
Yeah, they have. Let's take another pause and hear a word from Duke Cannon. But when we come back, we're going to start jumping into now. We're not going to do more bowl picks because we're going to have our bowl pick special edition next week.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to do that.
Before we go to that,
Uh-huh.
I just got you saw me look over at my phone.
Yes.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
They have changed the name of the Orange Bowl.
What is it now?
I can't beat South Carolina Bowl.
All right. We're going to have to go. We'll be right back
no.
right after this word from our sponsors.
For a guy who runs hot, it's hard to find relief. Duke Cannon Dry Ice gives you an icy cooling effect that lasts all day without having to do anything crazy. Duke Cannon Dry Ice Cooling Antiperspirant. Crank the cold.
Duke Cannon products are available at the Winter Circle in Shelbyville at 603 Evans Street.
Okay, guys, welcome back in here. Now we're going to talk some pro football. And I know the big thing that we were talking about last week was the Titans going up against the Eagles, and we got clocked. I mean, we got hammered up there.
I see some things here we talked about with some college teams. I see some bad things with the Titans right now. They're going to have to get fixed. We'll have to get fixed really quickly.
Well, you know, before we get into that, the word that I've got was Robinson.
Robinson, yeah, that's the big news that came out of this game, and Kenny's got some insight here.
Yeah, the word that I've got was they fired Robinson because he was giving some inside scoop to a guy that was using it on the Shelbyville NOW Sports Talk Show. And when that came out, have you heard anything about that, Dave?
I got some calls about it. I was being questioned, and the next thing you know, Robinson's fired.
Yep. So, are we going to lose our scoop?
No.
No, that wasn't what the scoop was.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, what's going on down there, Bill?
The people that I know that were down there just said the owner flew up, came in, and she just decided she was going a different direction. I think a lot of folks up there were shocked by it.
Well, I will say, I'll say this for him. I think he's done I think he did a pretty good job,
Especially early on.
Yes.
but I think he has missed on a lot of things that are coming back. The big one is the AJ Brown right now.
Yeah. And if you go back to the draft,
He's had several top of the end draft busts. He did do a good job with the Simmons, but there's been a lot of them that have flopped. And when you lose those, we're not signing a whole lot of. They're not signing the second contract for a lot of the draft picks. And some of the free agents.
Any first round pick under Robinson that ever signed a second deal, there is none.
Well, you got
Not yet, but there's going to be one with
It'll
Simmons.
be Simmons, but that's the
That'll
only
be
one.
it. Yeah.
But, you know, we look at the AJ Brown. There's another good receiver that's playing for the Jets that we didn't re-sign.
We
Davis.
took pick 5 in the first round.
Of a very loaded draft.
Yes, and he was probably overdrafted.
And then when you get some of these free agents that everybody wanted Julio, everybody wanted
Clowney.
Freeman, Clowney,
Yep.
and we had to pay big money. Had to give up a second round for Julio.
You know, here's the
And
bad thing
that's-
with Julio that a lot of people don't know. Do you know next year he's counting $8.8 million in dead money?
Really?
Julio
Yes.
Jones.
Wow.
Yes.
And still paying
Next
for it.
year.
And still paying for it.
Wow. That's the type of stuff.
That's the stuff
has
that
been
gets you
him.
fired.
But to go back to the draft, the night that he traded AJ Brown, you can watch Coach Vrabel get up immediately. You can still video this and see he gets up. He's not happy. And he goes to the back shaking his head.
Yeah.
I wonder if he
Tilts
knew
his
about it.
head.
Tilts his head. He was not happy.
I wonder if he knew a whole lot about it.
I don't think he did.
Wait, which one was this?
This is when they traded AJ Brown.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
on.
yeah,
You can watch the video. And
I remember that.
Yeah. I will.
And
Yeah, I will say this about Robinson is that whenever he came in, there was not a lot to root for.
no,
Yes,
he did a
the
wonderful
Titans.
job.
And
Wonderful
you were
job.
there
Yeah.
at the time. So
Well, so there was not a lot to root for whenever he came in. So he did a great job of turning the place around. He hired Vrabel, and Vrabel really made the locker room and just the atmosphere around very player first, very family oriented, to where guys are wanting to play and are proud to play for Tennessee now, where in the past maybe that wasn't the case. So I will say that about Robinson is that coming out, he did very well for the Titans.
And even the
Oh, yeah.
AJ Brown
We wouldn't-
trade may not work out as bad as some think here either, because I got a feeling Mr. Brown has knee issues and always has. I don't know how long he'll play in the NFL, but I do think Traylon Burks has shown, unfortunately for the turf toe, that he can play. And you got the right tackle with that other draft pick you got out of it. That's our right tackle now. He's played pretty well from Ohio State. That's Frere.
well, we have
So
a,
time will tell a year or two down the road if the trade was the right thing to
this
do or not.
this is off topic, but we have a chat question. Miss Helen Raby wants to know what kind of hat you got on.
That's my
Skinny Claus.
Kenny Claus hat.
Skinny Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
He's in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
All right. Back to where the Titans head now the rest of the year. with this
But
little
I think
small
you've seen
speed
as
bump.
good
Well-
as good as Big Jeff is. D'Amico Autry may be more important to the Titans, who's been out.
Yeah.
The last time he played, we had 6 sacks against the Denver Broncos. He hadn't played since. We've had no more than 2.
Yeah, but I think our schedule is going to free up on us a little bit.
Yeah.
I know we get to play the Jaguars twice, which they're not bad.
With these injuries we've got, we may
Yeah.
be in trouble Sunday, folks.
But I'm going to tell you,
Is Trevor Lawrence playing this week?
If he,
I heard
I think he plays.
I'm telling you, I told you last week, the Titans have some issues in the secondary.
Yes, they do. And now you got guys out again this
The
week.
Titans have
2
issues.
corners.
Their defense is good. They have issues in the secondary, and they have issues at offensive line because that Henry is getting hit sometimes before he even gets the ball. And once he gets it,
it's hard to run when we got 5 blocking against 7 men.
And coach, you can talk to
They're
this,
putting him in the
but you don't
box.
see a lot of pulling and extra blocking schemes to get Henry free. When's the last time you
you
saw
don't
us pull
see
a guard?
much blocking. Well,
Well,
here's
because
what's
as soon as they pull, they can't even, they're
They're-
already
they're-
blowed up.
And it's where you're lined
It's
up
just a
too,
wasted-
and the shotgun.
and,
Henry
and
to
what
Henry.
they're doing, the defenses are doing to stop Henry is they're basically selling out blitzing and
Shooting
trying to
gaps.
get to him into the backfield before he can get that 1 or 2 steps to get into
How
it.
many times have you seen a cornerback run up there and just clip him, just 4
Yeah,
yards
yeah,
deep?
But
Just come in there
doing that,
and just nobody
we
touches.
got to have a receiver out there that
Wide
can,
open.
when they're
Yeah.
bringing that many, and we can get one that hit him deep. Then, but we've got
They're leaving somebody open when they do that.
They're that's right. Somebody's unaccounted.
I want to think, okay, we're doing this to set something up, but I never see it get set up.
I'd like to see
we
more
just-
screens to Henry.
We're running
and
not between the tackles, we're running between the guards, and it's just coming right up in there. They know what we're doing,
But
and it's easy to
I do
stop.
think you're going to see a new left tackle this week. It's going to be LaRaven Clark. He's going to be replacing. He will be starting. I'm assuming Dylan Raven's going to be the backup because I don't think you're going to see Daly play at all Sunday.
Having Ben Jones back, did you notice any difference?
The left
I
side
didn't
is still
really.
so bad. I didn't
I
know.
mean, it's just
There's only so much he can do.
There's only somebody he called them out, but and again, they played some pretty good competition here the last couple of
Oh
weeks.
yeah,
But
I think
another,
we'll see the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
another question I have is this week the Jet 4 players list is questionable. We had 11 plus 13 on IR. This is 2 years in a row with this. Now, at some point,
Mhm.
there's 2 teams I can think of, the San Francisco 49ers and the Tennessee Titans. The last 2 years are decimated. Now, this is either a training. I was told that a bunch of these players are on a vegan diet, and that's leading to these injuries. And Aaron, maybe you can speak to that. Is that a trend in the NFL now?
So there are some teams, some players that have special diets that they have based on whatever their beliefs are or their nutritional stuff. But there are a lot of players that eat vegan, and that I know a lot of Titans players. Remember whenever I was there, a lot of them in particular, I think it was Derek Morgan.
I remember him.
His wife was a chef, and she did a lot of vegan diet, so he was on it. And a lot of the players would order meals and stuff from her as well. So I don't think in Green Bay it's not. There's definitely some, but there's not the amount that there was in Tennessee. But that was
Anybody can have a
that
bad
was
year.
3 or
Injuries
4 years
happen,
ago.
but there seems to be a pattern here recently that's not good. And I worry in this new stadium when they go to turf, it's going to be worse.
It could very well be,
Especially
If
soft tissue
I think
injuries
if
and
you
whatnot.
polled the players, and Eric can speak to this,
Oh,
they'd
yeah.
much rather be on grass.
They would 1,000%. Yeah. In Green Bay, we have it'll be right now. It's maybe 25 degrees, 35 degrees during the day, and which is they say it's not that cold, which is just blows my mind. But they'll have
I said it.
they'll always say they'll practice. They would rather practice outside in that weather on our grass practice field than inside on the turf, just because turf is they do not
Yeah.
like turf.
I know their inside linebacker
Campbell.
wanted to sue the NFL because when he got hurt, it was on a turf field.
I don't know anything about
Well,
that.
guys,
That's what I read on
Okay.
we've got the Jaguars, right? We're playing at home. Y'all want to say we're going to do okay with that game.
I think we
I
will.
think we'll win that game. Well, you're just a little bit.
I'm nervous. I
You're
don't
a
like
little
some things
nervous
I'm
about
seeing. I'm going to take the Titans, but I think it's going to be another 16-13 field goal fest.
Yeah, 13-10 game.
13-10 game. And
Yeah.
Traylon Burks is not playing, so that's your best offensive weapon. I think the one guy that might make a breakout here is Chig.
Yeah.
Okunko.
He's looking like a specimen.
I think he's got to get the football, but defensively, you're going to be down Christian Fulton. You're going to be down Avery. The rookie corner's played so good. He's got concussion protocol. He's not playing. Autry's not playing. David Long Jr. is not playing. That's a laundry list here. Now, I will say if Trevor Lawrence for some reason doesn't play, I think the Titans win big.
I don't think he's playing.
I
something.
for him to play.
I don't think he is either, because he's on my fantasy team, and I got him starting in both, and they're saying he's not going to play.
Yeah, I heard last night he wasn't playing. He was ruled out for the next 2 weeks. That's what I heard. But that's is one of those fantasy.
Well, what's the Titans? I know there's they got 5 games remaining.
Uh-huh.
Two of them were with the Jaguars.
Yes, one with the Texans,
one with Houston. So that's
it should be
that should be. And if you, I saw this stat the other night when they played Pittsburgh. Titans are 6-0 against teams with a losing record, and they're 1-5 against teams with a winning record.
Yep.
So, but I heard, I forget who the commentator was, said, well, in NFL, you're supposed to win all the games you're supposed to win, and win a few of those.
Win half of the others.
Half of those others, then you've got a good season.
Yeah.
Until D'Amico Autry comes back, you're gonna have to blitz. The 4-man rush isn't cutting it. And once you get Autry back, you're gonna have to blitz in this game.
5 men's got to be rushing. Our defensive
And
backs.
then when you do that, with your defensive backs hurt, you're leaving yourself open even further on the other end.
If our defensive backs can shut things down for 2.5 seconds, and we get pressure, then it changes the game a little bit. But anyway.
You may not have the mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
A lot of times you hadn't been blitzing the last couple of weeks because you had the mobile quarterback that can beat you with the legs instead of
especially Hurts
with the arm and the legs both.
Yeah, for sure.
Now with Lawrence, if he does play and he's hurt, you're more going to blitz him because he's not. If he plays, he's not going to be very mobile.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, are you sure the Packers won't let you just fly down here every weekend and do this and then fly back to the game?
Oh, I wish I could.
You bring some insight that we don't have now, Bill.
Hey, any chance that a Packer question for you that we get Romeo Dobbs back at some point with the Packers, because I had him on my bench on the fantasy team, and if you had Christian Watson and him out there, I think all of a sudden
let Aaron tell you his Romeo Dobbs stories.
Well, with Romeo, me and Romeo happen to be very close because almost every day I'll shoot jugs to Romeo. He'll text me like, "Hey, you busy? Can I get some jugs shot?" And so we'll hop in my car and we'll go down to the practice facility and we'll shoot probably 200 something jugs balls, probably about 3 or 4 times a week. So, and we just always chat, just have a good time. We're pretty good buddies. But yeah, I think he'll be back before the year's over. I believe, definitely.
See, next year, that's 2 good young receivers coming back for Rodgers next year that should be ready to go, in Watson and Dobbs. And that's going to be a better start than what we had this year, right?
Hey, we can get him a laptop computer. You got a laptop, don't you?
I actually don't know.
Well, you got your phone.
But
we can just wire you in
You
here.
got Kenny Claus as your daddy. We ought to better come up with
I do a very technological.
This time last week he was in Philly.
Yeah.
I was in, not Philly.
That's
I
2
was
weeks
in
ago.
Chicago.
Yeah, that's right. Y'all were with.
Well, guys, we need to wrap this up. Aaron, thanks for being here.
Oh, I love it.
Anytime you're back in town and we're doing this, we need you sitting right there.
Absolutely.
And Bill, thank you for your input, and thanks for your inside scoop on the story from the Titans. Guys,
and from Miami. I mean, that name of the bowl game
I know, it's changed. That's big. But guys, thanks for watching out there. We'll be back next week with our bowl special. We're going to pick all the bowl games. And we're going to come up with some kind of wager on who gets the best, the most picks right. All right. So we're going to come up with something. We might
We would have. I'd love to have the some input from some of our outside viewers too. On some of these.
Sure. Anybody watching out there, be on here next week live and chat it up with us and let us know on some of these bowl picks.
Because y'all,
We'd love to have you.
I could use some info.
Yeah, and I'm sure people out there could.
I'd love to let some people
What's
out
going
there.
to be hard on these bowl games picking them is who's playing, who's not.
That's
Going to be.
that's what like the Alabama Kansas State game. Everyone would think Alabama's
yeah.
going to run away.
What
but
if 10 players don't
Hey,
play?
and
is Bryce Young going to play? Is Will Anderson
Right.
going to play?
And in a game like that, Kansas State's going to be way up to beat Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
They're
And
gonna be-
Alabama's probably got players that's not going to play. Kansas State's going to play.
Well,
all
if you're
of
going to
it.
go pro, why would you
Why
play in a
would you
bowl
even
game?
play that game?
And one of my fellow, obviously, Dad and I are big Alabama fans. And one of the other interns with Green Bay, he just graduated from Kansas State, so we'll have a fun little back and forth the next couple weeks about it. But
All right, but we're gonna have that going on. So y'all be ready.
Be ready.
Guys,
All
thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.